Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Coding Shinobi. In the previous video, we had seen some Java questions related to Java collections, right? And as I said, we might need few more videos related to Java collections as it is a vast topic. So we are going to see few more questions related to Java collections in this video. For maps, we will have a separate video because maps is also one of the important topics and it is very different from the collections. Also, you need to know the internal implementation of hash maps and what are those and all other stuff. So we will have a separate video for maps. Right now, we'll dive into the remaining interrogations related to collections. So let's just get started.
So the first question is, how can you make an array list read-only in Java? You can make your array list read-only in Java by using collections.unmodifiable list. As you can see in the below program, I have created a new list of integers, added few values and passed it to the unmodifiable list method of collections class. If you try to add few more values into this unmodifiable array, then it will throw unsupported operation exception. So this is how you can make your array list read-only in Java. Next, how can you synchronize array list in Java? You can synchronize your array list in Java by using collections.synchronize list. Here we have created a synchronized list using synchronize list method of collections class. If you want to use synchronized list, you must declare it in synchronized block. I've created an iterator of synchronized list and iterating and just printing. But all the operations that you want to be thread safe must be declared in synchronized block. The interviewer might ask you like what is the difference between synchronized array list and vectors, since vectors are also synchronized in Java, right? So there you can answer vectors are slower than synchronized list because vectors synchronize individual action. Log on a particular collection, programmer wouldn't want to take a log again and again repeatedly for every action what it wants to do on a particular collection, right? He will just prefer to synchronize a list of sequence of actions like this. But in case of vectors, every method is synchronized, so lock is taken on every action. That makes vectors slower than array list. So vectors are considered outdated and deprecated in Java. Most of the programmers nowadays prefer synchronized array list over vectors. What is the difference between hash set and tree set? So hash table is used to implement hash set and tree set is mapped by tree map. Hash set has unordered data, but tree set have sorted order defined by comparable or comparator interfaces. By default, it is ascending order as it implements comparable interface, and if you want a different sorting order, then you must pass comparator. So, or constant type on average for every operation, and every operation of tree set on average takes log n. Null values are allowed in hash set, but null values are not allowed in tree set because internally it uses compare to method, and if try to invoke compare to object on null, then it would throw null pointer exception. It is used when order is not taken into consideration and used when you need unique sorted elements. Now this is the difference between hash set and tree set. Can you add a null element in tree set or hash set? For hash set, you can add a null element. Remember, only unique elements are there in a hash set. So one null value is allowed in hash set. But in tree set, null values are not allowed because it internally uses compare to method of comparable interface to compare with other object, and it throws null pointer exception since method cannot be called on null object. Like at some point the method call would look like null dot compare to object, which will in turn throw null pointer exception. So you cannot add a null element in tree set, but null values are allowed in null value is allowed in hash set. What are the implementations of queue interface? Explain in brief. Basic behavior of queue is first in first out. Whatever comes in first will go out first. Priority queue is the direct implementation of queue interface. Sometimes when components of queue need to be handled in order, priority queue can be used. Members of priority queue are ordered by natural order or the order given by the comparator queue. So you guys might be familiar with mean heap and max heap. So this is the priority queue is the implementation of mean heap and max heap in Java. Also, priority queue has default implementation of mean heap. If you want to use it at max heap, you need to pass an comparator object to the priority queue's constructor. And DQ interface extends queue interface. You may not need to tell about DQ when you're asked about the implementations of queue interface, as priority queue only directly implements the queue interface. But it would be good if you have knowledge of these interfaces as well. So DQ interface extends queue interface. Array DQ is the implementation of DQ interface. Array DQ is double-ended queue where elements can be added or removed from both the ends. That's it. What do you understand by blocking queue? Blocking queue is used when multiple threads need to work on the same queue. Blocking queue enhances flow control by activating blocking. In case a thread is trying to dequeue an empty queue or insert in a full queue, that thread will be blocked unless another thread comes and dequeues one or more elements in case of full queue, or another thread pushes value to the queue in case of empty queue. So the thread which is trying to dequeue an empty queue will remain blocked unless and until another thread and pushes some values in the queue. So it makes sure the empty queue is not dequeued, and that is element is not removed from the empty queue, and it will make sure no other element is added if the queue's capacity is reached. It does not accept null values. Null pointer exception will be thrown when you try to insert null values. Okay. Explain fail fast and fail safe iterators. Differentiate. If you try to change the structure of a collection while iterating, fail fast iterators throw concurrent modification exception. That means while iterating you are trying to add or remove elements from the collection, it will throw concurrent modification exception. If you try to update the structure of collection while iterating, fail-safe iterators don't throw any exceptions because they work on a copy of a collection and not the original collection. So here you can say that fail fast iterators do not copy. So extra space is needed in case of fail-safe iterators. Examples of fail-fast iterators is ArrayList and HashMap. Examples of fail-safe iterators are copy on write ArrayList iterator and concurrent HashMap. What is random access interface? Name a collection which implements this interface. Random access is a marker interface like serializable. Marker interfaces does not have any methods in them. It is just used to mark a particular interface um, for a particular behavior. Like in this case, random access interface indicates whether a given list implementation supports random access or not. That's it. Since there are many list implementations wherein there might be a list which does not have any random access, like linked list. ArrayList supports random access but linked list doesn't. So just to mark that particular implementation of a list, that if it supports random access or not, in constant time, this random access interface can be used. A difference between iterator and enumeration. Iterator is also called as universal cursor. It can traverse on every collection. But enumeration is only applied to legacy classes, and hence it is not a universal cursor. It Iterator can traverse on legacy classes as well as the classes that were introduced after the legacy classes. It can make changes, uses delete method while traversal, but enumeration is a read-only interface. It cannot make any changes to the collection while traversing. The remove method is available, but the remove method is not available in enumeration. And as we have seen, iterator is not a legacy interface. Iterator can traverse hash map, linked list, array list, hash sets, tree maps, and tree sets. Enumeration is a legacy interface for traversing only hash tables and vectors.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you got to learn something new from this video. Next video, we are going to cover about maps, how they're internally implemented, especially hash maps, because that is most popular interview and famous interview question that many of the interviewers expect that you should know about. I hope to see you in next video. And if you have any topic that you want me to cover, um, then let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the next video.